Good day, everyone. This is Doug Upstone for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. Today is Hump Day, December the 13th. I believe that gives us just 12 days until Christmas. We're happy to bring this to you today. Got a lot to cover. I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking because there's a lot to talk about. There's been a ton of line moves in the NFL so far, so we're going to get to all of them and give you the latest betting trends on theirs. And as I promised yesterday, I have two NBA line moves and free picks that we're going to offer you. And we had the easy winner last night on Indiana State, so that took our record to 26 and 16-1 lately. So that's been very good. And speaking of very good, so has all of the members at Vegas Pro Insiders Daily Inner Circle. Sean Higgs continues to be one of the top handicappers in the world currently. I think he's still #1 at sports capping for the last month, and that's the last month. If you go back, it's probably about 40 days. So he's just absolutely killing it there. He is like close to 70% with his best bets at Vegas Pro Insider Daily. Kyle Hunter, NBA, or I should say basketball, he just continues to roll. He's up around 70% in his last, I think it's 70-some totals. I've had a nice run in the NBA and in college basketball. Really ready for the bowl season. NFL picks, as I mentioned yesterday, didn't have a great week last week, but still very solid for the year with doing that. Dennis Macklin continues to roll. Jim Mack has been on a nice streak. So we got a lot going on. $99, it's all it's going to cost you. Plus, then you're going to get every single bowl selection at the same time. So you're going to get everything there. Plus, you're going to get hot tips from Wise Guys. Super Systems continue to do well. They win typically of late 4 to 7 days out of a week. So those continue to do well. Plus, I have a bunch of other information. $99 is all it's going to cost you. $99.99. Can't let that 99 cents go. It's all it's going to cost you. And so have that. Check it out right now, VegasProInsidersDaily.com. All right, first, let's get to some of the NFL games for this upcoming week that we should be looking at. Starting on Saturday, we got a couple of NFL Network games. Now, Detroit is going to be hosting Chicago. And in this one, Detroit has the worst running game in the NFL. So that means they have to rely entirely on Matthew Stafford to get them to victories. That's why they end up playing so many close games consistently enough. Now, they're still in the wild card hunt, but they've hardly been impressive. They're outscoring their opponents by 0.7 per game, and at home it's only 1.1, which is pretty much a reflection of a team that has a 7-6 record. At home, Detroit is 2-4 straight up and against the spread, and that's why they have fallen to Chicago, who is in this game gone from -7 down to -5.5. Bears to me are a dangerous team. They just knocked off Cincinnati. They have played a number of interesting closer games. If they let Trubisky just play as opposed to keeping the reins on him like they did for most of the season, this could be a very tight game. 55% of bettors, though, are on Detroit at the moment. The AFC West title, not officially, but is likely on the line this week, and that'll be the later game on the NFL Network. The Chargers are absolutely rolling. I made fun of them early about moving to Carson, but I tell you what, I'm impressed with what they're doing now. 7-2 straight up and against the spread of late, and that came after an 0-4 start. Now, they have the full backing of bettors. They're going to Kansas City, and they have gone from +1 to -1.5 against the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs got off the deck last week finally and handled Oakland rather easily, and that's the case. So they look like they might be doing a little bit better here, and they have another benefit on their side. They know how to beat Kansas City. They've beaten them 7 straight times, and they've covered 5 of those games. For the Chiefs to win in this one, their running game, like last week, has to get rolling. And if they can get that, that'll help them. And their secondary is going to have to play very well because Phillip Rivers has really been hot of late. 58% of bettors, though, are still on the Chargers to get this one done. Houston and Jacksonville. Oh, boy. Jacksonville's defense, #1 in points allowed. Number 2 in total defense. And they're going up a Houston team that just scored 16 points last week against San Francisco. And they're going to be starting their 3rd-string quarterback this week in TJ Yates, which leads to yikes. The total on this one has slipped from 40 to 39. I'm not sure if it'll go lower, but I do know this, is that Jacksonville has scored 30 points in their last 2 games. And when they have done that in back-to-back games in their history, they're 11-1 under in their next contest. 54% of the betting public is on the under. Arizona and Washington in an NFC game. The sense, at least that I'm getting, is that Arizona still wants to play, still wants to win. They're 6-7, and beating Tennessee last week, you get the impression that they actually want to finish 9-7. You do not get that impression in watching Washington, who just lost their last 2 games by 24 and 17 points respectively. With that, Washington has slipped from -5.5 down to -4.5, or depending on the sports book, even down to -4. Now, all the injuries that Washington has suffered, and they're not the only team to do this, but they have suffered more than their fair share. It seems to have taken a toll on not only physically, but also mentally. The only problem with the Cardinals that concerns me this week is they're 1-5 against the spread on the road this season. That's unsightly. Nonetheless, 61% of bettors are on the Cardinals. Cleveland, was this close? I don't know if that ESPN Analytics, they had a 95% chance of beating the Packers, and they're up 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Didn't get it done. So much for the analytics, at least in that one, right? You're talking about Cleveland anyways here. Now, Cleveland's is hosting Baltimore, their most hated rival, because and even though Pittsburgh is really their main rival, the fans really hate Baltimore because Baltimore stole their team. That's when they picked up the truck and left. So this is the team the fans anyways, the team they really hate. Now Baltimore has won the last 4 games, covered 3 against the Brownies, but Baltimore tends to play down to the level of competition, or in some cases play up to the level of competition. And so with that, the Ravens have gone from -9 down to -7. For the Browns, this is their last chance to get a win at home. If they don't, they'll be 0-8 at home this season, and the last time that happened was their first year back coming to Cleveland in 1999. 81% of bettors are on the Browns. Keep that in mind, all right? NFC West, huge matchup, huge. Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks. It's a minor game on Fox because there's there's the AFC game between New England and Pittsburgh. That's going to get more play, and that's the doubleheader game. But this is a big one. And the pedigree of Seattle, bettors are going to go with that, and the 12th man being at home. And they've taken Seattle from +1.5 to -1.5 against the LA Rams. Now, if Seattle gets a victory here, they sweep the season series, and that brings them into a tie. So if they don't lose another game with this victory, if they don't lose their last 2 games, they end up being the division champs in that. So it's huge for them. And looking at the 2 teams, I honestly have to say, I feel that the Rams have the more complete squad. I think they have more overall talent than Seattle. But Seattle has Russell Wilson, right? So with having Russell Wilson, that's a big deal. And can the Rams contain him and not commit as many turnovers as they did in the last game? That bears watching. 70% of bettors are on Seattle right now. Tennessee and San Francisco. This, to me, was the most interesting spread of the week. Cincinnati's 3-10. Excuse me, Cincinnati. San Francisco's 3-10, Tennessee's 8-5. Tennessee's fighting for the division. Yet odds makers sent out San Francisco as a 1-point favorite, and bettors took it up from there up to -2. Holy Garoppolo, right? That's exactly the reason why. Jimmy Garoppolo has come in and done a tremendous job for the 49ers already. So, and just think of Garoppolo, if this game was being played 3 weeks ago, there is no way that San Francisco would be favored, and Marcus Mariota, what bettors are saying about Marcus Mariota is right now they think Jimmy Garoppolo is better than he is. Wow, isn't that an eye-opener? I mean, there's no other way to look at this one. And then you take the fact Tennessee, on the road of late, 5-14 against the spread. Do the Titans this week play to their talent level, or do they just continue to meander along like they have been recently? We'll find out. The Sunday night game is Dallas and Oakland, and the spread on this went quickly. Dallas went from a pick to -3. And I'll tell you why. Bettors are tired of seeing this lousy act from Oakland all year. This team has underperformed, probably was overrated coming into the year or overperformed last year, however you want to look at it. But bettors are tired of it. Dallas has looked good in the last couple of outings, so I think bettors have no problem backing the Cowboys here in this spot, even on the road. And the Raiders, when the spread is 3 or less and they're at home, they're 10-23 against the spread. 74% of bettors are on the Dallas Cowboys. Finally, on Monday night, to wrap up these betting trends and line moves, Atlanta is going to be at Tampa Bay on ESPN. Atlanta has moved from -5 up to -6, and this should be a no-brainer to take this game with Atlanta. The only question, though, about it is Atlanta still has a chance to actually win the division, and they have New Orleans and Carolina in their last 2 games. That's an interesting point of view. Now, what about the Buccaneers? Well, there's been reports of infighting between the coach and the quarterback, so that's not good. So does the team galvanize for one big effort, or do they roll over like Rover on this one? The Bucs are 0-6 as dogs this season. 91% of bettors are on Atlanta. Okay, let's get to some free picks, some NBA, and a little more NFL. We'll start off with Oklahoma City playing at Indiana. And this one, Oklahoma City opened up as a underdog, and they have been I think it was 1.5 point underdog, and they've been switched to a 1-point favorite in this one. Now, I don't know about you. I'm looking at Oklahoma City. They're 1-11-1 in recent games against the spread. That I think it was since November 15th, as I recall. On the road, they're 3-10 and 2-11 against the spread. Now they have 3 perennial all-stars on their roster, but yet they're 29th in scoring. So there's just no cohesiveness whatsoever on this team. Indiana was not supposed to be good at all, but they're having a fine year, actually. And they're on a 4-0 winning streak right now. And they're 10-4 and 9-5 against the spread at home. For my money, it's either play the Pacers or pass. Oklahoma City could well win this game, but I'd much rather be on Indiana in that case. And if for like your case, if you're in the middle, pass. Portland is at Miami. Total on this one's gone up 2 points, from 201 to 203. Now Portland's shooting percentage and offense has been like a yo-yo. It's going up and down the last 5 games. Defensively, though, very consistent. They're horrible. They've given up, on average, over 50% shooting in their last 5 games. Miami's offense has been a little bit better of late. They're up about 2 points over the last 5 games, so that's an improvement. But is that enough to make this a overplay? I think not. And here's why I think not. The Blazers covered the other night against Golden State. They're 10-1 under in their next game after a cover. And Miami just absolutely mauled Memphis the other day. They're 17-7 under after a win by 10 or more points. You know where I'm going on this one. I'm going under, in spite of the fact that 84% of bettors are on the over. Thursday night football. Ooh, it's the last Thursday night game of the year. And boy, it matches exactly how the season has gone on Thursday night. It is uninteresting. However, Denver and Indianapolis, there has been a line move on this one, and the Broncos have gone from -1.5 to -2. And in this case, I look at this, I agree with this. And the reason I agree is that I think Denver got the monkey off the back last week. I mean, you know, they're still way better than what their record is from a talent standpoint. I mean, quarterback has been a problem, but you know what? Run the ball, let the defense take care of it, get a little bit of a lead. Indianapolis has nothing to play for. Reports are they're going to look at all their young players going forward here. So I think Denver is the play. And then also, when the line is 3 to 3.5, +3 to -3, and one team, Indianapolis in this case, has gone under the total in their last 5 games by 35 or more points, and they're playing in a conference game. Okay, I know that's a lot, but you know, you can rewind it and listen again. They're 14-39 against the spread. I like Denver, as do 88% of bettors at this time. Whew. That's a lot we went through there. It's a long video this time. I apologize for that, but had a lot of information to get to. So this is Doug Upstone, Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. I'll be back on Friday. We'll talk about some of these very same games. We'll have some bowl games to talk about. So we're going to go all football, I believe, for that Friday video. We'll look forward to speaking to you then. Good luck tonight with these freebies. And as of right now, I am out.